of the anniversary event, and looks like we've got Carlo in the lead, and he's ahead of Menno Di Bera. And Jay Ghost is also down in third place as well. Looks like he's going to go for a move into Brooklands, and he's made... Oh, sorry. Carlo has gone for a move. I think he made it. I think. Oh. So I think the Ferrari tried to go down the inside of Carlo, but I think he managed to keep his ground and stay in first place. And the Ferrari is on the back of him. He's at lap 2, so no DRS just yet. He's just going to wait for one more lap to make sure that DRS is enabled. Further behind, we've got Jay Ghost in third, ahead of Daniel in fourth, ahead of TDB. I think he might have done a track extension through there, so he might get a warning for that one. And 15th is Bendo Gaming, and one back is in 16th. And they must have had problems because they're further down the field. As Daniel sets the fastest lap, Mr. Pop has set the fastest lap. So fastest laps are coming in from further behind the field, as Carlo is covering the threat from the Ferrari behind him. He locks up going into turn 3. Now it's the slow corner of turn 4. Traction is crucial out of here, which he doesn't get because he managed to oversteer and power slide his way through turn 4. Now comes to turn 5. He's wasted all of his ERS, and the Ferrari behind him, he's vulnerable on the straight. The Ferrari will go down the inside into Brooklands, and he's sticking it around the outside, but he doesn't have the corner because he cuts him off, which is a good move from the Ferrari driver. And McCrew looks like he's struggling because he's got Jay Ghost right behind him, but he gets a better exit, a better launch than Jay Ghost and more momentum, and he's behind the leader. And we've got Kieran versus the Renault, as the Renault gets ahead of Kieran for 12th place, and I don't think he'll go for it down there, son, because it's too tight through there, it's too fast as well. Meanwhile, the Ferrari hasn't got fully ahead of the Red Bull, has he? So he's still under pressure from the Red Bull, followed by Jay Ghost and his teammate. And let's see, he's got more, well, a bit more ERS compared to Carlo. Carlo's under pressure from Jay Ghost right behind him. He's got more ERS combined as the Mercedes goes down the inside of the AlphaTauri, as there's yellow flags further behind because I think someone made a mistake, as Mentos has overtaken, well, Jane, in fact, Ghost has almost overtaken McCrew. He's around the outside into the last corner now, as this will allow, look at the Daniel behind as well, trying to get involved, but it was too tight through there. Tries to squeeze his way through as Mr. Pops has overtaken the AlphaTauri, as Jay Ghost goes down the inside into turn 3. Has he made it move? Not yet, because Carlo is still there, and he goes down the inside, and he almost takes off Jay. In fact, the Ferrari takes advantage of both of them. What an amazing move by the Ferrari there, as Philippi has got a 3-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags, but what an amazing move from Daniel, who managed to get himself up into P2. Absolutely stunning move there. Good spatial awareness, and Alex has got past Philippi, who's got a yellow flag penalty for ignoring yellow flags. So it looks like the AlphaTauri got out of shape coming out of Luffield, and he's got the Alfa Romeo, who's got more overspeed than him, and he overtakes him before Copse corner. And the Alfa Romeo is up into 8th place, as the other Ferrari in first place has got a good lead. He's got 1.1 second gap, 1.2 now, because he's outside of the DRS range. And the spinner, that's Jay Ghost. Jay Ghost has spun coming out of Magnus and Beckett, and he will rejoin way down the pack, and don't know where he will end up soon, but I think he's going to end up in 12th place, no, falls down to 14th place actually. So Jay Ghost spun coming out of Magnus and Beckett's. Done that myself plenty of times. It's common, it can happen, as Jane's looking interested of McCrew. McCrew looks like he's struggling. He was up into first place at the early stages of this race, but it's the last lap, so it's all or nothing from Jane to see if he can deliver a podium. And it's a good Ferrari one too. The other Ferrari has got himself in the DRS range of his teammate, so it'll help him pull away from McCrew even more. McCrew keeps dropping back, so I think he needs to focus on getting that podium to make sure he secures it. But Mentos is overtaking TDB, as Jane doesn't go for it down the inside into Maggie's Brooklands. As further back, we've got the AlphaTauri and the Alfa Romeo going at it side by side now into Brooklands, now into Luffield. They're still side by side as the AlphaTauri tries to go round the outside. The Alfa has the inside line, who gets better exit. I think both of them got a decent exit, but the Alfa Romeo uses his overtake button and stays ahead of the AlphaTauri then. So he's going to have to wait for the DRS zone to try and overtake him back as... Oh, Jane, as the car just snaps through there. Right then, so Jane's last chance to do anything about McCrew. But the Ferrari's caught up to his teammate, but I dare say he won't overtake him because he's too far back. Jane, all or nothing for him. And he can't get past McCrew. That's a track extension. Luckily he didn't get a penalty, otherwise he would have dropped out the podium. Anything further behind? Nope, that's all settled. So it looks like Menno has won the race over his teammate. McCrew hangs on to third ahead of Jane. Rotation finishes in fifth, and then Mr. Pops in sixth. TDB in seventh place, and then Mentos in eighth. Apex in ninth ahead of Nils in 10th, and Philippi into 11th ahead of Kieran. Iwan Bakker finishes in 13th place ahead of Ostonini. Jago spins his way out the final corner to finish in probably last now. Yes, it is last. So that's the first race done, the British GP. I managed to join on lap 2. I didn't see the start of the race because I had personal issues and technical difficulties, so I apologise about that. So, Ferrari 1-2 at the British GP, followed by Red Bull. McCrew did a good job to hang on to the last part of the podium. So, Dutch 1-2-3, nice one. So, we've got a few penalties kicking in for the drivers, and I believe one of them was Mr. Pops, who finished in 6th place. And Philippi and Nils in 10th and 11th. Ostunini and Bendo Gaming received a penalty too, and the only DNF was Eric. I believe someone joined midway through the session, so there'll be 18 cars on the grid ready to race for this 5-lapper event, and we'll see how it all turns out for the next one. But look at rotation. He started in 12th place, he's up into 5th. He started in 14th, he finished in 6th. TDB started in 11th place, finished in 7th. McCrew started in 1st place, dropped down into 3rd, as Daniel from 6th to 2nd. Amazing achievement from him. Good job from Daniel. And we'll find out what happens in the next race then. I believe you can all hear me. I muted my mic in the party because I am in a party with other people, but I hope you can hear me. Otherwise it'd be embarrassing. Be talking to it the whole time. Yes, you can hear me. You can hear me. Good, good. I am in a party with other people, but I muted them all. I even muted myself because you can still hear them. And if you mute the person you muted, they can still hear you. So I muted myself. So Austrian GP then, I believe someone joined the session, but they've gone. So we've got 17 drivers on the grid then, ready to take part in this 5-lapper event. The 2 Ferraris that lead, can they maintain their momentum coming into Austria? Austria expect another DRS trade, but it's only 5 lappers, so it's all or nothing for those drivers there. So what's the starting grid? Random. The starting grid is random, so no one-shot quali. So you best hope you start in the top 5, the best place to start. TDB says he sucks. You don't suck, mate. You're actually doing a good job. Well, I've seen in other leagues or in other races, but oh well, it's your opinion. Mine's different. We saw a good race at the British Grand Prix. About to see another thriller in Austria and see what this track can provide us. Expect some people running wide off the track. Penalties will kick in, so as long as you don't get too many penalties, you're all good, aren't you? You just not need to get any penalties. If you do, that's your likely chance to finish outside the points. But if you have no penalties, you can find yourself winning this race, from what I've experienced before. Bendo says he's got a point. Good job, mate. Now let's get some more. There's no formation lap, I believe, so we're just going to go. And it is Lights out and away we go. A drive-through penalty for Mr. Pops. He already had a penalty at the British Grand Prix, but now he's got a drive-through. As down the inside goes rotation up into first place. Nils, the McLaren's dropped back. I believe that McLaren started first. We've got contact at the back. We've got a Red Bull and a Haas spinning at the very back. The reset to track from the Haas, from the Red Bull side. I don't know why I'm spectating down here, but we'll go back to first. As the Ferrari looks to go down the inside of the Renault, but can't quite make it. We've got a 3-wide action coming down into turn 3. The Ferrari pushes the Alfa off the track but onto the curb, and the McLaren tries to fight the AlphaTauri, but he has the inside line. So does the AlphaTauri on the Williams, but they ghost with each other as the AlphaTauri gets a decent exit coming out of turn 4. You expect the McLaren to get a better exit, but I think he made a mistake. Oh, he hits the back of him, does the Williams, but not enough to get any full wind damage. Just Kieran went around the outside, but he goes down the inside of the McLaren now. They make contact, and he's dropping further down. He gets pushed off the track by everybody, and he's down. Happy birthday. Oh, thank you. I didn't know you. Oh, thank you very much, mate. So we've got Meadow getting a decent exit coming out of the final corner. We've got a Racing Point that spun at the back of the pack, and he will be down in last place. His teammate is already out of the race, and both Racing Points will be out, down in last place. Jay Ghost on the back of Kier. Those two were fighting on the first lap, but now Jay Ghost will want some revenge, and he will take back the position off the AlphaTauri. His teammate, the AlphaTauri, fighting with the Renault as Ghost goes down the inside. Jane trying to fight back. Look at Kieran, gets a decent exit coming out of the third corner, but the AlphaTauri ahead goes down the inside into turn 4. Has he made it? They go side by side coming out of turn 4, and the AlphaTauri is ahead. His teammate though is trying to fight the Williams behind him. Look how close they are with each other. Look at Daniel. He won the race, didn't he? Or finished second. And he's down in 8th place now, as Eric gets a 2-second time penalty. And Van Bakker having a much better race than he did in Britain, sorry. As McCrew has got past Eric. Eric's struggling out there, but has he got any front wing damage? Because he looks like he's struggling, I don't know. But the Racing Point is all over the back of him. The Racing Point that spun is now up into 14th place, and he's got ahead of the McLaren. Now DRS is enabled. We're about to see more action between the drivers. It looks like Kieran's closing in on Jay Ghost, which he is. Just go down the inside or look to do it. But oh, the Mercedes outbreaks himself, and he loses about 4 positions, and he drops down into 9th place. And look at Kieran then, with DRS wide open. Can he make the move on Jay Ghost around the outside, or will he try and do a switchback? He'll stick it around the outside, but Jay Ghost, oh, he gets put onto the grass. As Daniel takes advantage. What could he have done? Should he have backed out? Was that Jay Ghost's right to do that? He was ahead, but should he have left more space for the AlphaTauri? We'll see, but look, we'll go back. We'll go on board with Meadow, see how he's doing. Where did he start? He sets the fastest lap, by the way, so he's doing a good job. He started down in 4th place. First place, started down in 2nd place. As we've got some action further back then, we've got McCrew overtaking the Racing Point. The Renault Ostonini tries to go around the outside of the Renault, and the Racing Point actually. As look at that, we've got Jay Ghost going down the inside of the Ferrari of Daniel. Gets pushed off the track as we've got more action further back. As Nils gets past the AlphaTauri, as Menno's actually caught up to the leader. So about to see a battle for first place soon. And who's that going sideways in the corner? Was that Red Bull? That's McCrew. No, that is Apex. He's got past TDB. TDB's fighting back though. Tries to go down the inside, but Apex has more speed around the outside. And TDB actually overtook Jane. Jane actually lost 2 places because I remember him being down in 9th. And now he's down in 11th place. So he's lost more ground, has Jane. So he needs to find that back in the space of 2 laps. As Menno sets the fastest lap again, he looks like he's on course for winning the race. The Ferrari putting pressure on the Mercedes ahead of him. He's got DRS, but will he try and save it for the last moment? In fact, he's using his DRS. He don't care. Oh, that could have got a lot worse. As he goes down the inside of the Mercedes, but the Mercedes has DRS. Meanwhile, the Ferrari tried to go down the inside of Ghost, but he wouldn't allow it. Go back on board with the top 2. And what will he try and do? Will he try and go around the outside? No, he does not. Can't do a switchback either, or can he? as AlphaTauri goes around the outside and he makes his move up into third place. That was a good move from the AlphaTauri there. So I believe this is the last lap. Yes, it is. And the Ferrari actually managed to win this race, but has he got penalties? That's the question. If he has, that'll spoil his afternoon. But for the second time in a row, it's a Ferrari winning in Austria. And rotation finishes in second place. Mentos finishes in third. I believe we've got someone pitting on the last lap. I don't know why. That was Ghost who pitted on the last lap. Don't know if he actually spun or not, but Victor says hi. Hello, Victor. Menno finishes in first place ahead of rotation. Mentos finishes in third ahead of Daniel. Iwan Bakker finishes in fifth ahead of Nils. TDB finishes in seventh place ahead of Kieran. Apex in ninth place ahead of McCrew. Jane in 11th place ahead of Ostunini. Eric in 13th ahead of Philippi, J Ghost, Bendo Gaming and the Racing Point who DNF'd. So that's the Austrian Grand Prix done, as TDB actually finished in 7th place. Hope you all enjoyed that, because I did. It was a good race. People got their elbows out, but it was a 5-lapper, so they had to, really. They could be afford to stuck in the DRS train. Thank you for wishing me a happy birthday, Nuffle. Means a lot. As another Ferrari's won the Grand Prix, and it's the same person who won the first Grand Prix, Menno. Rotation in second place ahead of Mentos. Daniel in fourth place ahead of Ewan Bakker. Nils in 6th ahead of TDB, Kieran in 8th ahead of Apex, both Red Bulls scoring 3 points. Jane in 11th place ahead of Ostunini, Eric in 13th, Ostini. Philippine in 14th ahead of Ghost, Bendo in 16th, and one other time, which was Mr. Pop. He had a drive-through penalty at the start of the race, and I don't know what happened to him. Did he serve it? I don't know. Probably didn't, because he says he ain't got the fastest lap, so he didn't complete a lap, he just went straight to the pits. Or probably crashed out. I don't know if he did, but he has not scored any points again. Onwards to the next race. I don't know what race it is, but we'll find out in 10 seconds time. Go check the standings, shall we, while we're at it. Only 7 seconds left, but it's a Ferrari 1-2 still in the Drivers' Championship, and rotations moved up to 3rd place. So still a Ferrari 1-2. So is the Japanese Grand Prix then. Let's see how people add to this race, because overtaking is quite a difficulty. All you're going to do is not make any mistakes. That first sector can be quite difficult if you don't get it right. That first set to the S section, very not too difficult, but if you want a pad, you got to be careful. Easy on the wheel, but on the pad, you just got to be very careful. I think Degner 1 could be a struggle. People could go wide in Degner 1. Degner 2, people lose traction or just go too wide or too fast in there. The hairpin shouldn't be too bad. Spoon can be a bit difficult if you don't take it right. Yes, I am McCrew, I am enjoying it. We'll find out what happens in this Japanese Grand Prix. Unlike Silverstone and Austria, where overtaking is a bit easier, Japan will be a bit harder. I dare say the only opportunities to overtake will be the first corner or the hairpin, depends if you're close enough. But probably down at 130R or the chicane. We'll find out who's on pole position, because it is a random grid. No formation laps, so you're going to be prepared and ready. Can Ferrari continue their success in the first 2 races? Want anybody else to take their race win? So it was a Mercedes and Ferrari 1-2. As the lights will go off, we are underway for round 3, And it looks like the Ferrari's got a much better start than Mercedes, because Mercedes had massive wheel spin on the second phase of the start, and he's under pressure from the Racing Point as the Racing Point goes down the inside into turn 2. They come side by side, coming out the corner. Now coming into turn 3, the Mercedes at the inside line, so he takes his position. The other AlphaTauri gets past the Racing Point. Jay Ghost hanging it around the outside, has the inside line for the next corner. Mr. Popsy gets squeezed out there, and luckily enough he did lose another position. He might do, because there's a Mercedes alongside of him. I believe 3 people have crashed in the S section on our full map, as he'll get a warning for that one, but Rotation needs to find the track because he went off there. And oh, the Red Bull loses on traction. Look what I'm talking about. That is Apex, as TDP hits the back of the Ferrari. He goes down the inside of the Ferrari. I was talking about losing traction as the Haas driver can't seem to get out of the first sector properly. So Daniel leads ahead of Jane. Philippe in third place as a Mentos. Jay goes all over the back of the AlphaTauri. The other AlphaTauri is under pressure from the Mercedes behind him. They were fighting in the S section, and the Mercedes has got ahead of Kieran. Mr. Pops is right behind them both. As Jay goes down the inside into 130 flat out corner, and he gets ahead of Mentos, and the AlphaTauri tries to fight back on the Mercedes. On board with his teammate, or on the board of the back of him, but what happened there? Kieran just dropped a position. He get caught out by his teammates' actions down at the last corner. He went rather slow there. Don't know what something happened, but the Mercedes is side by side with the Mercedes Racing Point, as the Racing Point gets ahead of the Mercedes. Rewind into turn 1. I don't think that's going to end well, as McCrew locks up and goes off the track and loses 3 places. Oh, he gets pushed off the track as well, and he loses 4, so he's dropped down into 12th place. As Nils gets out of rhythm into the S section, but he still holds off. McBacker's Racing Point gets past the AlphaTauri. Rotation's going to go alongside him too, coming out of Dunlop. Now headed to the deck. One of them's going to have to back out because he can't go 2 people through there. And it is the AlphaTauri that's going to back off, his teammate looking behind him as well. As yellow flags are just distributed everywhere around the track. Daniel near the top again as Wambacker goes down the inside of Nils into the hairpin. And he's got it stick. Good move from the Dutch driver. And he moves up into 9th place. There's yellow flags everywhere. Apex is in the gravel, and someone says Daniel near the top again, just like the normal league. Someone needs to stop Daniel, and James looks like the person who could do it because he's 9/10 within Daniel. As Philippe is under pressure from Jay Ghost right behind him, and DRS is enabled next lap as Mentos has got past Nils. Jay Ghost will try and go around the outside into the last corner. That's a good move from Jay Ghost. As Nils gets a 2-second time penalty for exceeding track limits, but the Racing Point doesn't have DRS, it's just activated, isn't it? So he'll have to wait for the next lap for DRS to be activated. Nothing looks like it's going to happen soon. TDB on the back of Nils. I know some people are struggling in the first sector, so we'll keep an eye on that. As Philippe is under pressure from his teammate behind him, Mr. Pops, as McCrew gets a 2-second time penalty. No mistakes I can see being made in the S section. Mentos hunted down by the AlphaTauri's teammate, as we've got a train behind the Racing Point of Mr. Popsy and Rotation, as Kieran gets a time penalty as Popsy goes round the outside into the hairpin. Does he get a better exit? Yes, he does. He launches out the hairpin and he gets ahead of his teammate. And now Rotation is about to take action as well, because he's going to go alongside the Racing Point. Wambacker has got past Mentos, and Rotation goes down the inside into Spoon. Good move from him. I was talking about Wambacker and both AlphaTauris going off the track there. Both AlphaTauris look like they're struggling. And the other AlphaTauri trying to get past Mentos. Kanjay goes close down the gap. 3.3 seconds now as the top 2, as Kieran goes down the inside into 130R as Mentos. Will he try and make the move stick? Yes, he does. That's because the Mentos goes wide into the last 2 corners. Now he's got his teammate alongside him. Made a mistake, and that's cost him 2 positions, I dare say. And Kieran is ahead of Mentos. TDB gets involved as well. TDB goes down the inside into tail 1. Nils just overshooting the corner there, but still managed to save it. Oh dear, that could have been very, very bad indeed if that... Well, never mind, but what's going on at the top there? Jane is in 7/10 of Daniel. Those 2. And who's that ahead of him? That's the Haas driver. That is Bendo Gaming. as TDB gets past Mentos. That's a strange place really, but I wonder how he did that. He's up into 10th place now. Yellow flag's been waved around the circuit as a one-backer. The next target is, who's that? That's the Haas in the ditch there. As the one-backer gets a decent exit and more acceleration than the racing point, the Dutch driver makes his way up into 6th place. And he gets ahead of Philip P as Mentos has got past Nils. Oh no, he hasn't, he spins, he spun! And he will not be happy with that one. He tried to go side by side into Spoon, but he just couldn't make it stick. The crew gets past him as Eric's in the gravel in sector 1. So he has got DRS, has Mercedes driver, but he's not close enough to try and hunt him down on the straight. Too far away. And it went back up. Lack of ERS is not going to help him because he's got the Mercedes with the Ferrari behind him. He tries to go defensive on the inside, and can he make it around the outside? It's turn 1. You'll try to, but the inside line for one backwards turn 2. Does he still get ahead? Yes, he does. Aggressive but fair racing from the 2. The Ferrari thought he had it, but he came back at him, and he stays in 6th place. Does Iwan? Oh, who's that going off the track? What's he doing? Mendo Game not having a fun time down in 14th place. Is Mendo? What's happened to him? Where'd he go? For a brief moment, I saw him on the grass. I wonder what happened to him. It is the last lap of the race, so it's very crucial now you make your overtake and make it stick, because it's your last chance. Who's going to be on the podium? Will it be J Ghost or will it be Mr. Popsy? J Ghost has got more ERS compared to Mr. Popsy. And we're about to see our race winner in a few seconds time. And he can't make the move. As across the line comes Daniel, who will finish in 1st place. 3 wins. It's his 1st win. And James will finish in 2nd place. J Ghost will finish in 3rd ahead of Mr. Popsy. Rotation 5th. 4th, of course, Popsy's got penalties. Wambacker 6th. TDB 7th. Philippi 8th place. Kieran 9th ahead of Mentos Gaming. McCrew takes the point away. No, he doesn't, because Menno takes the point away from both of them as UPL Apex has left the session. Nils crosses the line to finish in 13th ahead of Ostanini. You will come across the line to finish in 14th place. Hope Apex gets back in the session. Yet to cross the line is Bendo Gaming. So TTB looks like another P7 for you again, isn't it? P10, P7, P7, so that should be 13 points. Unless you get a fastest lap. Makes it 14, 15 or 16. So for the 4th race in a row, it's a Ferrari winning, but this time it's Daniel, not the other Ferrari. So Ferraris have got the wins in the bag here. Sorry, 3 races, but it looks like Daniel's overtaken his Dutch teammate, his Dutch compatriot, and he's 5 points clear of his own teammate. Rotation in 3rd place, ahead of Jane, who moves up into 4th place. Mentos in 5th. 2 drivers share the same points, which is a Wambacker, Mr. Popsy, a TDB also, so 3 drivers sharing the same points. McCrew down in 9th place, instead of J Ghost in 10th place. Nils in 11th, Kieran. And those who yet to get any points is Eric and Bendo Gaming. So if the Ferraris have won these 3 races, can anyone stop them? But this time Daniel won the race instead of Menno, and 5 points is the difference between those two. So is this the Brazilian GP next, and the Ferrari have the 1-2 ahead of both Mercedes in 3 and 4. Let's see what happens in the next race. It is lights out, away we go then. So it's the McLaren who's on pole ahead of the Renault, and let's see, that AlphaTauri's got a amazing start, and I believe he's already up into first place, or almost, but he's alongside 3 wide into turn 1. He gets squeezed off the track, so does the McLaren, as the AlphaTauri now leads the Grand Prix. The Renault loses positions and he's lost 2. In fact, a massive crash between the Racing Point and the Ferrari. I had no idea what happened there, but the Racing Point goes down the inside into turn 4. They go side by side coming out of turn 4 now, coming up to turn 6 as he takes the position. Mr. Popsy up into first place ahead of the AlphaTauri. Midfield mayhem as McCrew goes off the track there, as James gets a slippery exit coming out of turn 6. Meadows locks up into turn 7. As look what's happened to the Renault, he's just appeared out of nowhere, as Ostini loses a position to the Williams of Jay Ghost. The Ferrari tried to fight back on the Renault. I believe the Renault has the position, unless he'll try and hold it around the outside. Brave stuff here from those two. And he spins. Oh, I don't know whose fault is there. I need to look at a different camera angle. But the Renault has spun. I don't think, did he leave enough room on the outside? Anyways, Mr. Popsy leads over Mentos. TDB is in third place ahead of Johan Bakker. And I believe that Ferrari, where is he? Where's the closest Ferrari? Down in 4th place. 5th place, sorry. Menno de Beaver in 5th place, and we've got some action going on between Kieran and Jane in 7th and 8th. Kieran stays in 7th place ahead of Jane. Rotation in 9th place. Oh, Jane gets a horrible exit coming out of turn 4. Let's look at McCrew then, trying to go alongside of the Mercedes. He's got past him, or has he? He goes wide again off the track, does McCrew. And he needs to watch out for a Bakker and Daniel, last time winner. But he tries to go down the inside into turn 7, but he can't quite make it. But he tries to go down the inside, make contact, those two. Good job there. That's not really realistic, otherwise they lost the front wing or made a punch in his tyre. And Red Bull stays ahead of his Duchy. Oh, Ostadini, where you going, mate? McCrew's just everywhere, and Bakker and Daniel have got past McCrew, but will Daniel go down the inside? And we've got TDB on the back of Mentos. Look at that, but he goes on the grass to overtake, a bit like Karu Kobayashi style, as TDB goes down the inside of Mentos, as the AlphaTauri tries to look. Oh, there was a Mercedes there as well, as Nils swoops around the outside of Jane up into 6th place. He goes. We've got Daniel, Bakker and McCrew still fighting for the last points position. Daniel, the last time winner in Japan, is now down in 10th place. Looks like a Ferrari won't be winning this Grand Prix because they're all the way down in 10th, once in 5th. So TDB is now under pressure from the guys behind the Alpha Tower in the Williams of J Ghost, and TDB finished 7th place. Can he get a podium? Can he manage to hold on? But the lack of ERS could indicate that he's vulnerable on the straight, because Meadows he doesn't even have any ERS as well. As J Ghost blasts past him, it does. Oh, that's massive contact there. The Alpha Tower just turned as James gets past Nils up into 6th place. He goes. Go back on board with these guys then, and Jago and Mentos don't have enough straight line speed or power to overtake J Ghost into turn 4. Kieran Nils can't get past the Mercedes. But up to the guys behind, they're all in a fight now. They're separated. Where's McCrew? McCrew is down in 12th place. Got a bit of a train to form in between the Mercedes. So mainly for the battle for 2nd place, they're between TDB, J Ghost and Mentos in 4th, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Further behind them is a Ferrari, and he's 1.3 seconds behind as Daniel's got past the Mercedes and he moves up into 9th place. Here we go then, can J Ghost take 2nd place? Has the Alfa Romeo got enough overtake or ERS to try and keep him ahead? J Ghost doesn't go down the inside, he waits for the proper moment. Just bearing his time. It is the last lap. Jesus, that's flown by, hasn't it? We've got a train going on here between the Renault all the way down to the Alfa Romeo. As J Ghost goes down the inside into turn 4, the Alfa off the track, but he needs to make sure he doesn't lose another position so he can get on the podium, and J Ghost stays in 2nd place. What's going on down in the midfield then between those guys? Does Daniel try and find a way past on the AlphaTauri? Can he go down the inside in one of those corners? Can't believe this track is going. This is a good track, but this track is going for Rio, and they're building a brand new circuit for Rio because it's not even built yet, has it? Is it? And to take it all the way, all those trees. Talk about deforestation and all that. But anyways, Mr. Popsy will win this race, but who will get 3rd place? Will it be Ghost? Will it be TTP? Who will take 3rd place? Oh, 2nd place actually. That's a squeeze against the wall. I don't know what to say about that one, my friend, but that was so aggressive. Will TDB be happy with that one or not? Because 3rd place is still a good result, but he got squeezed against the wall. Could he have got past J Ghost if he gets squeezed against the wall? So that's the Brazil race done, and we've got a different winner, which is Mr. Popsy. J Ghost is your driver of the day, says the game, and let's see how the Drivers' Championship is now between those guys. I think Mentos takes back his championship lead. Yes, he does. Menno does take back his championship lead ahead of his teammate, and both teammates are still leading. Have fun, guys. I had to leave because I'm not feeling so well. Get well soon, Apex. Hope you're okay, mate. As we move on to the next one, and this is at Canada, interesting one. And then on to the next one in Canada. So we had 4 races now. This 5th one, let's see how this one turns out. Right then, so we'll wait for the lobby to get ready and we'll have the lights out. No formation lap in this, so drivers going to be ready at all times once they apply their setups, and we should be gone in a few seconds time. We're just waiting on the crew. Just lights out and away we go then. I think the Renault's got a decent start off the line, but the AlphaTauri, will he try and go around the outside to turn 1? No, he doesn't, as the Alpha goes down the inside of the other Renault. The AlphaTauri makes contact with the Racing Point. He half spun, but he managed to save us. The Racing Point gets a decent exit, and I thought for 1 second he'll try and go alongside him and go down the inside of him into turn 3, but that didn't happen, as the Racing Point has spun and he hit the wall coming into turn 4, and he lost his front wing, I dare say, so he'd be dropping down all the way back. As Nils tries to fight back, he gets a bit of a tank slap on the exit, but the AlphaTauri gets a much better exit coming out of turn 7 under the bridge. Then into turn 8 he's got ahead, or has he? Now he's got ahead, as Mentos is up into 2nd place. As looking at Williams and Jay Ghost there getting involved too, goes down the inside, he hits the back of the AlphaTauri and will try and force his way through with the Alpha. But now he's got a whole train of cars right behind him, because we've got Nils, we've got TDB, they're both side by side, and TDB's actually got past the Renault, as Jay Ghost has run out of ERS on the first lap. As he hits the walls as Mentos, but did he get away with it? That's the question. Coming down into turn 1 then, this is the 2nd lap, so 1 more lap to be for DRS to be activated as the Ferrari tries to fight the Renault. Oh, he's still there. That's a, yeah, I think that was the wisest. I think that was a good. Oh, the Red Bull but crew also hits the back of the Ferrari, but I think it should have been wise for him to back out, because he was never going to make it alongside him there. Don't think the Renault had to give him room, because he wasn't fully alongside him. He was just focused onto the next corner until he got a Renault just beside him, and looks like a battle for 2nd place, because 1.7 second gap is the gap between 1st and 2nd. So look at that, the Racing Point has got a good gap over the AlphaTauri, and Jay Ghost is behind us. The Renault goes down the inside as the AlphaTauri actually outbreaks himself, and Jay Ghost has actually got, oh, they make contact, it's the wall they go, and that's not going to do anyone any favours whatsoever, and Jay Ghost will rejoin all the way down, and he's left the session, so he's ready to quit. He'll probably done the same thing, not going to lie, because that wasn't supposed to happen. But anyways, we've got new podium contenders now, and that's Daniel trying to get past the Alfa Romeo, but he ran out of ERS to the straight. And look at that, down the inside goes the AlphaTauri. The Red Bull is fighting the Alfa Romeo. They both come out of turn 2 together, as he gets a better exit and stays ahead, does Mentos. shame for Jay Ghost. Oh, what the hell was that? McCrew has been spun round, and that was an absolute shocker what I've just seen. As a Wan-Baka is overwhelmed by the Renault and the AlphaTauri, and he tries to go for a gap, but he ends up in the grass instead. Daniel's 1/10 behind. There he is with DRS, but can't get quite past the Alfa Romeo. And the Alfa slaps into the wall, but look, I don't know how he didn't lose any front wing there. I even heard him hit the wall, but he still didn't lose any front wing. He's still under pressure from the Ferrari behind him. Meanwhile, we've got Ostini behind Kieran trying to make a move, and the Racing Point going deep into turn 1. And he compromised himself into turn 2 as well, so Wan-Baka will get closer to him and try and make an overtake lunge, make sure he don't make any more mistakes as the Ferrari slaps into the wall aggressively. Gotta be so careful around here because it's so easy to hit the walls. As Mentos gets a terrible exit coming out of turn 7, slides his way out, and the Ferrari Mentos has got past, but will the Mercedes get past too? Yes, he will, down the inside into turn 8, but they both go side by side. They're not giving up, are they, these two? None of them will back out no matter what corner it is. Now they come side by side into the hairpin, and he has made it, but he locks up in the process, and rotation is ahead of the AlphaTauri. Racing Point getting out of shape behind Ostini, and Daniel's got past the Alfa Romeo. As the Mercedes will get past the AlphaTauri, does he? Cuts the corner in the process, and eventually he gets past the AlphaTauri. But does the AlphaTauri go down the inside? No, he doesn't. Red Bull on the back of Ostinini, sorry. So it's the last lap already. How was that the last lap? It's gone so quick on it. So all or nothing for these drivers. We're on board with TDB, who's trying to hunt down Daniel for that second place, but I think third place is enough for him. McCrew on the back of Ostini. Oh, TDB almost lost on traction there, but gets out of the throttle to make sure he doesn't spin up the rears, but still gets DRS in the back of the Ferrari. The Alfa Romeo on the back of the AlphaTauri, battling for 7th place, and it looks like the Alfa Romeo's got it done as Mr. Popsy wins the race ahead of Daniel, who finishes in 2nd place. TTB will come across the line to finish in 3rd ahead of Mentos. Rotation takes 4th. Mentos goes further down, he's cut too many corners, and he goes down into 8th place. McCrew gets ahead of Ostinini, and that was a very close gap between those two. Can't even see the gap. After this race, I'll probably go for a nap. So for the second time in a row, Mr. Popsy has won the race after the two Dutchmans. This should change the championship, but actually it does, because he splits both Ferraris and he moves himself up into 2nd place, and he's what, 10 points behind him? I don't know why I had to figure that out, because it said next to it he's 10-point deficit. So yep, further back, but he's only beaten by 1 point, hasn't he? Or has he? Can't even see that from here. Yes, both on one's on 69 and one's on 68. So the Dutch GP then will be the next one. We are lights out, away we go there for the Dutch GP. I believe, yes he does, the Red Bull gets a good start off the line and he's moves or stays in first place. Bit of contact further behind between the midfield as the Haas gets out of shape when it's turn 1, and I believe he's lost some positions as well and he goes down into 6th place as we go down into turn number 3. They all make it out there alive, or do they? We've got some side by side action between the Racing Point and the Haas drivers. The Racing Point stays ahead of Bendo Gaming, that is Mr. Bopsy. No it's not, that's the other Racing Point. Who is that? Yeah, it is Mr. Popsy, I don't know what I'm seeing, as he takes out the 100-metre board with him, so people that use no line won't be happy with that one, unless they break the 50-metre board, but I don't think they do. That's not the way to go, son. You don't want to get on that curve there, because that's exactly what will happen. You lose the stability in the car. So he rejoins down in last place then. That was the worst thing to do, getting the curb there. That's not the best way to go. From experience myself, getting on that curb, which is painful because you lose the car. Don't think there's any way of saving it as well unless you use no ABS. On the main straight then, as we head down into turn 1, will anybody make an overtake? The Racing Point, or Mr. Popsy tries to, on the Alfa Romeo, but he stays where he is. I always lock up in these corners, especially this one. Sometimes I lose the car as the AlphaTauri tries to get past his teammate. And more yellow flags are being waved as the Ferrari is all over the back of the Renault driver. Yellow flags everywhere. And Daniel's dropped down a position. The Renault spun, that is Ostonini who's spun. Rotations under pressure from TDB behind him, and he's got Mr. Popsy behind him too, so he's going to be careful of not losing 2 positions as DRS is now enabled, so it gives those drivers more opportunities to try and overtake. As Mick Cruz, that's the fastest lap of the race. Don't think, oh no. Ooh. If I was the Mercedes, I wouldn't expect him to be coming from that far back. I would have took my normal racing line and I would have saw an Alfa crash into me. But they still fight coming out of there as they come side by side now, but it's a battle between who's got the most DRS, and it turns out rotation has, so he stays ahead. And TTB just needs to be a bit more careful because that was I wouldn't have expected it whatsoever. And I would have probably felt a hit, but further up we've got the Mercedes. No, that's just a back marker, sorry, I thought he was fighting somebody. But Wan-Bakker is up into second place. Can he get his first podium of this 5-lapper? The Hash driver is under pressure. No, he's not, because that's a back marker, but someone's made a mistake, and that is the racing point of Philippi. He has dropped down into 10th place, but he's still in the points, so we can salvage something. Just not to make any more mistakes in the process. As TDB gets past the Mercedes driver. No, Mr. Popsy goes down the inside of both of them, but try to get a switchback. No, the Mercedes can't. As Wan-Bakker is overtaken, or is about to overtake Jane into second place. She still hangs on ahead of a Wan-Bakker. As Kieran then has got his teammate for company behind him, as two people have lost it, which is Nils and the other Renault. Oh, someone's made a mistake, and that is Bendo Gaming, I believe. Yes, it is Bendo Gaming going backwards. McCrew leads the race. McCrew is leading the race at his Dutch Grand Prix. Can my man try and hold it out to win? He needs to hold it out for one more lap if he wants to win this race ahead of Jane. Well, I'm back and try and fight Jane into the first corner again. Happy birthday, Jamie. Thank you, Sahilo. How did you find the stream, mate? How did you find the stream? As Daniel has got past Mentos and he's up into 8th place he goes. I believe TDB was fighting with the Racing Point too. And that Mercedes down in 6th place of rotation, and Wan-Bakker is still trying to find a way past of Jane, as yeah, more yellow flags as both Renaults are fighting. Well, Nils goes down the inside of his teammate. No, he does not. Who will take second place then? As Nils has got past his teammate, but I believe his teammate's made a mistake. Just skill. Skill to buy the stream. How are you, James? You alright? As Menno has got past Philippi, and he moves himself up into 9th place as Daniel's trying to find the back of the AlphaTauri. Gives him a bit of a love tap at the back of there. As Mento's still fighting with him. What's going on here then? Philippi almost gets squeezed onto the gravel, but on the main straight. And James is... Oh, McCrew's won the race ahead of James. He went back in 3rd place. No, I don't know what's going on. Penalties are kicking in. I didn't know it was the last lap of the race. But McCrew has won the race ahead of Jane. He went back in 3rd ahead of Mr. Popsy. Rotation ahead of TDB. Kieran in 7th place ahead of Daniel. Mentos in 9th ahead of Menno. I'm good. Yeah, good to know you're not. Good to know you're good, mate. And my birthday's been alright, thank you. How's your birthday been? How many more races left to go after this? Because I can't stay forever. McCrew wins the race then ahead of the other two. McCrew's first win of the 5-lapper. On January 24th I'll let you know. So the Belgium GP next, and let's see if we can have a decent race going on. So a short dash to the first corner then. The Alfa on pole ahead of the Racing Point as lights out, away we go, and the Alfa Romeo, the Racing Point gets ahead of the Alfa Romeo, so it must have had a terrible start. But the Haas squeezes way down the inside of the Mercedes driver, but doesn't quite get ahead as the Ferrari in the background was going off the track. Oh, what the hell was that? Two Alphas are trying to fight as they go side by side into Eau Rouge, and they made it out there alive, thankfully. There were three wide. I thought one of them was going to crash into the wall. As TDB was trying to go down the inside of Bendo Gaming, as Philip B makes contact, he goes off the track as well. The Ferrari going around the outside, makes contact with the Mercedes driver, and he is definitely not going to be happy with that one. And he rejoins down in last place too. Red Bull and Ferrari go side by side into No Name, and McCrew gets ahead of the Ferrari driver as Kieran gets a 5-second time penalty for, or 3-second time penalty for collision with somebody. And who's that? Who's that? There's two cars, there's three cars off the track, and who are they? That's the Haas, McLaren and the Alfa Romeo. Don't tell me they went 3 wide through there and killed themselves through that like that. What was the point of doing that? Oh dear, it's just got even worse. TDB is retired, he is not happy with that one. Bender is retired too. Not been a good lap first for some, not been a good first lap for some, as those two are going side by side into the bus stop chicane. The outside line, would that be better? He gets pushed off the track a bit from McCrew. He rejoins and he stays into, or does he? No, he doesn't. He lets him McCrew get back. And the AlphaTauri just got squeezed and just... oh. These guys have been a bit aggressive, especially for 5 lap or 2. Oh! Oh, he spins! Lost traction through there. And he ended up backwards. These guys have been a bit too aggressive as rotations retired. What happened to him? Where did he crash in Eau Rouge? I can't even see him. Where did he... I don't even know where he is. Oh, what the hell was that? What the hell was that? I don't think this is going to plan according to what I'm seeing. Oh, what the... oh! Jesus, man. You trying to kill yourself? Good job he was ghosted, or he just smashed into the back of his own teammate. I don't think this 5 lap is going to plan as I thought it would be, but people just getting too aggressive. I'm not gonna lie, I'll probably do the same thing, but I won't be too aggressive. As Philippines now under pressure, and going on the grass is not the way to go because you'll lose a lot of speed by doing that. and Jane has got past the Racing Point, and he moves himself up into 5th place. But will the Racing Point try and fight back? Under braking we go onto the bus stop chicane. The Mercedes has it covered. DRS is now enabled, so we should be seeing more overtake, but there's only 11 drivers we're here, but we lost drivers one by one, as both Renaults are suffering with full wind damage, so they'll have to come into the pits. In fact, one of them's going slow. I don't think he's got any full wind damage. As it seems, yep, he's just going slow, so I don't know what's wrong with him. As Daniel has got past the Alfa Romeo, and he moves up himself up into 2nd place. Philippi can't get past the Mercedes driver. What's he doing? What's Nils planning? The gap between the top two is 1.2. Oh dear, more yellow flags. That's somebody through no name. Somebody has lost it through no name, but that's Philippi. He gets back on the track safely. Ooh. Kieran's on the back of the... Yeah. Kieran's on the back of the Racing Point, who spun coming out of no name, I believe. There he is, as we can ride on board with him. Philippi's about to fight the AlphaTauri again, coming up the Eau Rouge and Raidillon. Oh, ooh, bit out of shape there, but Philippi has made it easier for him to get past, and he's up into 7th place. I gotta go soon. I can't stay forever. The only battle on track is between these two, which is Kieran and Philippi. Next race is Russia, and that should be my last race for all of us, so I can get on with my thing. I got places to be and cars to make. And Philippi then, Kieran's using a lot of his EOS to try and keep up with Philippi. Philippi used a lot of his EOS because his back of the car's flashing, indicating he's running out of power down the straight. Now he's got DRS, and when he tries to get past me to the first corner, will he wait? Racing Point moves to the right to defend his position. He holds it around the outside, and he gets ahead of him, or does he? Yes he does, but the Racing Point will have DRS, and he's losing a lot of performance. What's going on with him? What's he do? What's he... I don't understand what's happened there. What was that? Disqualified? How did my man get disqualified? Oh wow, that's how many corners has he been cutting there? But look at Ostanini and Nils, they're going side by side into the bus stop chicane. He was slowing down to fight his teammate, bless him. And he almost loses it through the final corner. Coming down into turn 1, how much EOS has he got compared to his teammate? Over half of the EOS he's got. More than Ostanini, and he could use that down the straight if he wants to. I think he would have to. It's the last lap of the race. They're both in the points anyway. Doesn't matter. Whoa! On the grassy squeezers. Come on, man. It shouldn't be too hard like that. And yes, he goes around the outside and into Lacombe, and he stays ahead. No, he doesn't. He goes into the wall, in fact. And yep, that's his race done. As across the line goes Mr. Pops. Daniel second place out of Iwan Bakker. Mano in fourth place out of Jane. Mentos and Kieran will finish in 6th and 7th. And Eric will finish in 8th ahead of Ostanini, who made a mistake himself while slowing down for his teammate. No. Eric comes down to the final 2 corners and he will finish in 8th place. Ostanini will finish in 9th with a broken front wing, unless his teammate gets him at the end. I don't know what he's doing. Those two finally come across the line to finish in wasting more time. Nice way to come across the finish line. Put it in reverse and let's go. Oh. One more race to go and that should be it. There's your results, and one more race to go before I can go to my actual practice event session. That is it, folks. Oh yeah, one more race. So one more race to go and that'll be it for me. Hope you had a good time while you've been here. It's been alright, but it could be improved. Right, then away we go then for the last race of the season. I think that is the Racing Point get a good start off the line and a healthy advantage, and that slipstream will be a powerful enough for the Renault to try to overtake him. As midfield mayhem going on as always, the Renault squirming with the Haas. Down into turn 2 we go as the Racing Point is sideways into turn 2, and there's chaos at the back as well, so not really good from those guys down there, the Renault and the Racing Point and the Red Bull down there too. Mercedes goes down the inside of the AlphaTauri. The Ferrari's got past the Renault as well, as both Renaults are being swarmed by the field. As the Mercedes gets past the AlphaTauri again, as the Mercedes goes off the track, and the Ferrari driver is trying to get involved too. The Ferrari goes down the inside. It's very tight through there, as already people getting penalties on lap 1. Gotta be careful through there, as the Ferrari goes off the track slightly, but the AlphaTauri doesn't seem to, I can't get past him. And the 2.2 second gap already from the Racing Point to the Mercedes already, so that's a healthy lead for him. Got an amazing start off the lead and managed to use that to his advantage. As the Ferrari goes down the inside, the AlphaTauri, what are you doing? The Ferrari has spun, but he has saved it. And the Renault takes advantage of him, but goes down the inside. He was fighting with the Alpha, he breaks himself, and both of them come back at him. So the Ferrari retakes his position, but he's trying to fight the Alfa Romeo. Come on guys, play nice and patient. So Kieran's been overtaken by, well, he has overtaken Australian. He's going to drop back into the clutches of his teammate. Coming down into turn 2 then. Nobody's close enough to make a move on each other. Nope, nobody is close enough to make a move. As Ostanini is dropping back for some reason. Don't know what happened between him. We'll go check up on it now, see how he is, but he looks like he's under pressure from the midfield. Oh, it's in the wall. Made contact with the Ferrari and he has put himself in second to last place. As now the Mercedes is under pressure from the guys behind him, involved with his teammate and the Alfa Romeo as well. And McCrew's dropped back as well, so McCrew has probably dropped it somewhere. He's down in 13th place. He's Ostanidi. What's going on with the Racing Point? My guy's got disqualified. How on earth did you get disqualified on lap 2? It's beyond me how you get disqualified on lap 2. People just need to play it patient, you know what I mean? You can't afford to go aggressive like this. DRS will be enabled next lap. They can use that to their advantage to try and get past that Mercedes in front of him for an extra points. Mr. Popsy, I dare say, has won the championship, even though it was highly unlikely from the first few races because the Ferraris were blitzing it. It's a good battle going on for second place. McCrew has got past Ostanini and rotation picks up a 2-second time penalty. And the Ferrari gets a decent exit and he's about to go alongside the Mercedes and he gets ahead of him. Good job from him. Mercedes played it smart because there's no point going side by side and getting himself a penalty or warning for going side by side of the corner, which is tight enough for one car, never mind two. And the overtakes down, not really overtakes happening down here. And Mr. Popsy has set us the fastest lap of the race as we held to lap 4 for the penultimate race lap. As Mentos has run out of ERS, he could be vulnerable on the straight, which he is. What the hell was that? As he tries to go down the inside, the AlphaTauri runs out of road. And he stays ahead. This is aggressive fighting from those guys. Don't want to put it in the wall. And he goes around the outside this time, but the Alpha... Oh, it's not going to end well, is it? And look at Mercedes taking advantage of them both. Mercedes has got past them both with ease. Now he outbreaks himself, and the AlphaTauri, in fact, he's got past. Both of them have got past him now. It looked like he was going from hero to zero, but in a matter of seconds. He thought he got himself on a podium, but outbreaking himself didn't really help him, and he lost 2 positions. The AlphaTauri Romeo fighting each other, as the AlphaTauri is still under pressure from those guys ahead. Damn, this could not really turn out well for those guys, but we'll find out and see, won't we? As Philippines left the session, AlphaTauri goes off the track and the Mercedes takes the podium off him. As the Alfa Romeos are fighting TGB versus Awan Baka. They're both squeezing each other. Look at that. Oh my, oh my. Careful guys, come on, careful. As TGB's up into 6th place ahead of Awan Baka, who goes down the inside and just squeezes his teammate. It's the last lap of this race and we've got a battle for 3rd place. He's run out of EOS. Let's see what happens now on the 2nd corner. The Mercedes will go around the outside into turn 2. Down the inside goes the other Mercedes. No, there is no other Mercedes. We'll try and go around the outside of here, go down the inside there. Nope, he does not. Yellow flags everywhere, and that's the 2 Renaults again. And yep, kind of sums up their race. Mercedes locked up into that corner there. Looks like no overtakes will be happening soon. Yellow flags all over the place. As anyways, Mr. Popsy has kept it nice and clean throughout these 5 laps, and he comes across the line to win the Russian Grand Prix. Behind him comes rotation. Daniel finishes in 3rd place ahead of Jane, but that'll change soon because of penalties. Let's see what happens now. Awan Baka finishes in 5th place. Where's Mr. McCrew? He finishes in 10th place. And we've got the 2 Renaults left to go. I will have to go now. See you all later.